Hello, everybody. Welcome to the ABCs of Preschool podcast. I'm so glad you're here. This week is really cool because this past week, I finally am sitting here with my book in hand. It doesn't really feel real until you're holding the book. Like I can see it, I can feel it. Now I feel like it's official. I am the author of the ABCs of Preschool, your guide to owning, operating, and thriving in early childhood education. It's exciting. It's one of these dreams and goals that came true. And today I'm going to talk about fears, like our fear. And all of us have fear, whether we are parenting, we could have fears that we are not the mom we want to be, the dad we want to be, the parent. If you own your own business, you can have fear about um, not doing a good job and failing and falling flat on your butt. If you have fears trying something new, we all have goals, we have dreams, we have ideas that we want to do, we want to accomplish. But a lot of times our fears can take over. So today is about fears and like how to ignore the fear. Like fear is not a horrible thing. It's not a bad thing, right? It's part of life. It's part of keeping us safe at times when our kids are little. As we parent our little ones, we want to put some fear into them where we want them to be safe, right? If they're climbing a new jungle gym or a really steep slide, we want them to be a little bit fearful because we want them to go slow and take their time, and we want our children to be safe. So fear is here to help us sometimes in a way, like that gut intuition. For example, last night I had my a girls' night, and I was talking to them about this time I went to the mall. And crazy story, I was literally by myself just walking through the mall when a man appeared next to me. I mean, like literally right next to me, pushing into me. Um, just saying he wanted to be next to me, he wanted to go hang out with me. It was so uncomfortable. And immediately those spider senses was going off. Like I knew this man wanted to do bad things to me. Like I just felt it. So like that fear, it was there so fast. I knew this was a bad situation. I tried to be really nice, but I was also being forceful. Like he was too close to me. He needed to step away. That I had plans. I didn't want to go with him. It was really intense, like really, really intense. I went into a store, tried to get an attention to someone to like let them know like I'm in not a good situation. I finally did. I was really, really firm with him. He ended up walking away. Got on the phone and like called a few people, like letting them know where I was. Like that's how much my spidey senses were going off of like my intuition. And I thought I lost him. So like I waited and like was shopping in Macy's for like a while, but like looking over my shoulder, it was like 45 minutes. So I left that store and I started walking around the mall again. And lo and behold, there he was, like following me. And I dipped into another store and I let them know casually, like I'm being followed. Like, and so they called the mall security. He was escorted out. They escorted me to my car. It was like a crazy thing, right? So fear is not necessarily a bad thing. It could help us keep us safe. It could keep our kids safe. But what happens when fear takes over everything? And it like sometimes fear can be so overwhelming that it freezes us, right? Like it stops us from moving forward with our goals and our dreams. And any of you that have goals and dreams, like we have to look backwards too, like look back at your life. And when you feel overwhelmed with fear or the idea of like, I'm not sure I can do this, sometimes we have to pause and look backwards because look how far you've come. Look at all the things you've accomplished through your life. I think it's easy when we're starting something new, a new project, a new goal, to think, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I can do this because it might feel so out of reach. But we have to remind ourselves of all the other things we've accomplished and all the other things we've done. And I know for me personally, I have really been struggling a little bit with this. Like that little voice in your head where it's like Debbie Downer. Like, who are you to think you can do A, B, or C? Like, who am I to think I can accomplish what's in my head? So, like, what's in my head right now is a really big dream. Like it seems really gigantic. And when I was starting the preschool, when I was starting Loving Start Learning Centers in 2001, I had to remind myself that seemed really big too at the time. Or even when when I was running through my house for 9 years, really successful, and the opportunity came into my lap of opening a real center, that was scary. I was like, that's scary. I have to think back and give credit to myself and realize I had fear then too. Because every big thing we do, every new thing in our life is new, it's big, it's unknown. And so how do we move forward with the fear? Like accepting that that's a normal, it's normal. We're going to have fear with new things. And then ignoring that fear, ignoring that voice, or putting it to the side and persevering anyways. And maybe right now you're thinking that you want to open a preschool. Maybe you want to open a preschool. Maybe you want to open up a different business. Maybe you're a teacher right now and you're like, okay, I've done the teacher thing. I love it, but I think I want more. And that's the beauty of life, right? Like the beauty of life is that we don't have to stay stagnant our entire life. Or the beauty of life is that we can choose. I think there's seasons for things too, right? Like if you are a new mom, if maybe you're pregnant, oh, like one of my friends last night told me she's pregnant with twins and she has like a 2-year old. So she's going to have three under three. There are seasons in life where it's so important to just be in that season, right? Like when you have little ones, if you're raising little ones, be in that season. And it's cool, it's okay. I was in a season of rest and quiet and stillness for 4 years. About a year and a half ago did I kind of step out of that season. I ran full force for 20 years. And I recognized that I needed a season of quiet. I needed a season of healing. I needed a season to look inwards. And it was amazing. Like, so wherever you are in life is where you're supposed to be. But if something's stirring in you, like that idea or a dream, maybe it's like you want to get healthy. And I hate to say lose weight because oh my goodness. I'm gonna just say it right here. I am 46 years old. And with my health issues, with my cancer, I ended up having a full, this may be a lot of information, but I'm pretty open. I had a full hysterectomy at the age of 37. When I say full, I mean they took everything, right? So I feel like I've lost a lot of my lady parts, but they took everything. I am 9 years post menopause. And that has freaking rocked my world. So there's the early years, right? Where you're pregnant and you're having babies and your hormones are all out of whack because you're it's like you're in the midst of everything, right? And then there's this other level that no one really talks about. You don't really hear about it. It's menopause and it can sneak up on you and or medically you might get into that situation. And so I'm 9 years post menopause. And so that's why I hate to say like if a goal of you is to lose weight, it is so hard to lose weight. It is so hard. Like, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, wow, like it's just really, really difficult. So I say maybe one of your goal is to get healthy. That's one of my goals this year. Like my theme of the year is blue zone, and totally research it. I know I've mentioned it before, but look into it. So like I move my body, I journal. Community is super important. There's a special red wine that I like to drink that's I think it's called Koinonia, maybe. I don't know. It's from Italy. It's very, very hard to find, but it's like super high in antioxidants. But basically, get healthy. Maybe that is one of your goals, getting healthy, but it's scary because you have to commit, right? Like I've already talked about it before, like nothing's going to fall from the sky. When we are doing something new, when we are pushing ourselves to learn something new, we're growing. Just like our little ones are learning, they're growing, they are developing so quickly, especially between the ages of 0 and 5. The amount of growth is unbelievable. It's so awesome. But the growing doesn't have to stop when we are adults. So it could be maybe you want clarity on something. Like maybe there's something that you have a big decision to make and you just need clarity. I totally encourage you to just sit still and quiet and start journaling. Journaling has been powerful in my life. Like I've journaled actually my whole life. I have boxes of journals since I was 10 years old. I've journaled most of my life. But raising little ones, raising kids, in it, family life, working, like I didn't journal for a really long time. But about a year and a half ago, I started journaling again in the morning. It's been incredible. It's been powerful. I've been writing down my goals and my dreams, and I write all my gratitudes. I write down everything that I'm thankful for. So it's a beautiful way to start my morning. But this fear. So anytime we are going to stretch ourselves, anytime we write down something we want to do, that little fear can come in. Like yesterday, that's why I'm talking about it yesterday. Well, I'm doing a lot of new things lately. One, the podcast. Yes, I'm not an expert podcaster in any way, right? I just started. I know I've had some sound issues. It's a learning tool. Like I'm learning how to be a podcaster, right? I know preschools in and out for 20, gosh, almost 24 years now. I have been opening preschools, running preschools. I know how to fill up a preschool. I know how to staff a preschool. I know how to keep it full. I know how to manage a waiting list. I know how to do payroll. Like I know the preschool business like inside and out. It's in me, right? I am throwing myself into something new in a way. I'm going to be teaching the business now to adults. I've been teaching to kids for 20 some years, but now I've created a whole academy, coaching program, curriculum. We're doing curriculum for teachers. I worked on the last few days of putting together my first virtual 3-day conference. So all of this stuff that I'm working on, I know the material like in my head. Obviously, I know the material. I know what I'm going to teach, how I'm going to do it. I know what I'm going to share with my clients. I know I can get them to have the best life ever. But it's all the little things I'm learning, the technology right now that I am learning. It took me 4.5 hours yesterday of troubleshooting on something on Event Zoom. It was crazy, and their help desk sucks. It's like the worst. But every step of the way since November, as I've been creating and all these ideas flowing, like I see things in my head and I want it to be a certain way. I've got these standards. So I put like timelines on myself and deadlines on myself and like these goals. But then when I'm in it and like the technology isn't working, that little fear, that voice of like, what the heck are you doing? Amber, like, what are you doing? Like, you're not capable of this. Like, this dream is absolutely crazy. Like, that little voice comes in. I'm sure you've heard it. We all have that voice of doubt that we're not good enough, or we can't accomplish that, or we can't get healthy, we can't get strong. We have a story loop sometimes in our head as well, a story that maybe's been with us for a really long time. And I'll be honest, and I get a little emotional when I have to say these words out loud because I'm a little bit embarrassed and I'm a little bit ashamed. But not I think, I've had a story loop for a really long time that I'm just the sick girl. I'm the girl that just gets these weird illnesses. I'm the girl that gets sick. It really, really brings tears to my eyes because for a long time, I mean a long time, I was that girl. Like, even when I was young, I would get all, like, scarlet fever I got, and I when I was early pregnant, I didn't even know I was pregnant yet with my 2nd son, I was hospitalized with viral meningitis, and then at 31, breast cancer, and then I had some heart things, and then I had to have the hysterectomy, and then all of a sudden, a few years after that, I got some really weird virus that lasted almost 2 months that I had to keep going in for, like, antibiotics. Then my shoulder stopped working. I got frozen shoulder. I didn't even know what frozen shoulder was, but I couldn't even move my arm, and then I had to get that fixed. Then I ended up having brain surgery. So, for years, my storyline was, I'm the girl that gets sick. Until after brain surgery, I'm over that. I'm freaking over it. I don't want it anymore. So I tell myself, and this is where journaling is so powerful, I write it down. I am strong and healthy. I am strong and healthy. I am strong and healthy. That doesn't mean I need to get super skinny. That means I need to move my body. That means I need to have my greens and my reds and my supplements, and then I need to be drinking my water. And I feel amazing. I also took gluten out of my diet because I found out I have gluten allergy. But what I'm saying is we all have a story that we have to fight. Change your story, change your life, right? And that fear, when it creeps in, we have to say, no. Thank you, fear, for coming here because you want to protect me from getting hurt. But in order to grow as a human, we are going to fail. We are going to have successes. We are going to grow. We are going to learn, but we all have to put the work in, right? We've got to put the work in and we have to keep moving forward. Like right now, I'm doing things for me. Nobody is telling me to put these long hours in and create the academy. No one's telling me to create a conference. No one's telling me to finish and write this book. No one told me to do that. Nobody told me to do anything that I'm doing right now. My businesses are set up in a way now after those 4 years of being still and quiet. Like my businesses are completely on autopilot. Like I don't run the business. I have an incredible, amazing shout out to my amazing Loving Start team. I have a husband now my husband who is amazing, who is a pilot and flies internationally. And we have the gift of free airfare. And when you have free airfare, that just opens up your world. So I have opportunities now to go on flights with him where everything is paid for. My kids are older now. Like they're older, they're very independent, they're running and doing and on their own journeys. So I could just continue to sit and just be still. And that's totally fine. But something in me, something deep within my core is pulling me, pushing me. And I have to ignore that fear. We've got to ignore that fear. If you're a mama right now and you've got that little voice saying that you're not that good of a mom or you're going to mess up your kids, guess what? Because you have that little voice, you're probably doing an amazing job. You are giving your all to your kids, and we will mess up. I'm going to tell you right now, nobody is perfect. I made plenty of mistakes. I am not a perfect mom, and you are not a perfect mom. You are not a perfect parent if you're a dad. We will never be perfect. We are going to make mistakes. But if we are loving them, that is what matters. So, with the fear, there's just a point where we have to put it to the side. And if you've got a dream, if you've got your goals, if maybe you are running a school right now and you want to expand, maybe you're running a home daycare right now and you want to expand, you want to get it out of your home, but you are like, oh my gosh, can I do this? The answer is yes. Maybe you are a teacher and you're thinking, I want to open up my own school one day, but I just don't know if I can do it. The answer is yes, you can do it. Maybe you're a mom and you've been home for years and you're like, I think I'm ready to go back to work, but I'm scared. You can do it. The fear voice is natural. It will always be there. It's going to protect us in situations that we need protecting. But when it comes to believing in yourself, like right now, it's so deep in me. I have to believe this for me and only me, because when you have big dreams, when you have big ideas, when you have goals, they're your goals. They're no one else's goals. So that's the exciting part. Like, hold on to those goals, hold on to those dreams, and keep pursuing. I know, well, let me tell you, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be a success in this new path, this new venture, this whole new program I'm putting together. I do not know. So, in order to succeed, you have to move forward. You've got to believe and you've got to work on it. And sometimes we fail, and that's okay, because sometimes with the failures, we get to learn and then become out even better. So, today I just wanted to talk about the fear factor and fighting through that. And sometimes we just have to be our own cheerleader, right? And we have to own our goals and our dreams and our decisions and the path that we want, the life that we want in order to get that life, in order to attain that life. And it's normal to have that fear. It's normal to have that crazy voice come in saying that we are not good enough or we are not enough. But it's up to us to ignore that and say, screw you. I'm going to do this. So today, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me on the ABCs of Preschool. If you haven't checked it out yet, check out my website, thelovingstartway.com. I am so excited because I will be throwing my first virtual conference April 3rd through 5th. It is going to be extraordinary. I am so excited. And the best part is virtual. So you get to sit on your own couch. You can be in your pajamas. You can be with your puppy. You can be with your blanket and your coffee, whatever. And I have so much amazing information because I want you, if you are an owner, if you're a director, if you are someone that wants to open up a school, wants to open up a home daycare, this is for you. I'm going to tell you how to do it, teach you how to thrive. It's going to be awesome. Wishing you guys just a fabulous week ahead. And I encourage you, journal this week. Take out a journal and start journaling in the morning and see your life transformed. All right, I'll see you back here next week.